My name's George Kilgore. I'm a former United States Navy combat corpsman with the Marine Corps from January 1990 to July 1998 when I was finally separated. My 8 years of service came to an end. One, could I have done 20, I'd already be retired by now. We wouldn't even be talking. I wouldn't even have had to go back to school. You know, I would have drew a regular pension like anybody else, and I would have been retired. But when you do those things where you're high speed, low drag, oorah, you can get injuries, and you know, and I was no exception. We were in Korea, in South Korea, in the DMZ area. We heloed in, and I had a bad mishap where I ended up hitting the ground pretty hard, breaking a couple different bones, my hands, both my legs, cracked my neck, the basal part of my skull. And the thing with that did was it just, from there on out, I was no longer able to go back to be an FMF corpsman anymore. And they offered me a lot of outs. I mean, they offered, you know, to let me continue college so I could become an officer and work in health records or something. And I realized that if I couldn't be with the job that I liked and the job that I loved, believe it or not, I just as soon come back to Indiana. I got out and I received a 20% severance, and I wanted to get an increase because my symptoms were still continuing. I was still having more problems now after I had gotten out with, you know, just kind of my body and the way it was beat up. Somebody was told me about the American Legion, and I'd always been a member of the Legion. My dad was a member of the Legion in Columbia City. I remember spending many Friday or Saturday nights sticking quarters into jukeboxes. I was a son of the American Legion, the post there in Columbia City, and I was like, yeah, you know, I always liked the Legion. I always liked those old stories, and now I'm one of those guys. You know, I got stories. I can go drink beer, and they're like, well, you know, the Legion's a little more than that. You know, they can help you in these matters of trying to increase your amount, because I come to find out that if I simply went from 20 to 30, the benefits that I got changed dramatically. My children in the state of Indiana would receive free school. I also found out that I could go Chapter 31 and go back to school, and I would also receive a monthly stipend. Not just while I went to school, but for the rest of my life, and I still do. I got a hold of a representative from the American Legion. They went back to bat for me. Before you knew it, I had 30%. Before you knew it, I was in Chapter 31. Before you knew it, I had 50%. And that's where I sit now. I needed to make a difference in my life, and that meant that I'd have to go back to school, and I had always felt like, you know, my years in the service should be accountable for that. So the next problem I found was that nothing converted over. You know, and that's another disappointing fact. If somebody's been in the service for a long amount of time, why do I need to take a basic sociology class? I've been to, you know, 13 different countries, 5 different continents. I'm pretty socially, you know, correct. I think that what I would like to see happen is if you got out of the service, you could go take a course, be it 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever the prep course that was determined for that job. Nurse, paramedic, CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, whatever. Determine whatever the requirements are necessary to then board. And then that gives the state a chance to say, you know what, you are competent. We do see that you're able to do this. So that we're not just, you know, opening the floodgates and letting these people approach. Instead, what we're doing is saying, okay, so you get out of the service and you go take this class for 4 weeks, and they'll prepare you for nursing boards. Because you qualify, and with what we've done, we've already got you pre-qualified with the school. We know where you're going to be discharged to, so here's your opportunity. Because you need that 4 to 6 weeks to prepare, to remember all these other things. As a job, nursing is where we have the biggest holes. Nursing is the largest growing job in the world, so why wouldn't, you know, we fill that with these veterans of medics that have all this knowledge. Once I got a hold of the American Legion, I mean, they were my advocate, they were my voice. And not only that, they were only a couple doors down from the people that were making decisions on what was going to happen to me the rest of my life, and what my injuries were worth, what they thought financially that they were responsible for because I was injured while performing a job that I was contracted to do. Yeah, they were the best advocate I could ever ask for. They were like a lawyer with a smile.